Take a seat for our meeting here.
All right, everybody. I don't think it's wrong.
Yeah, I don't think our mics
Hello,
are.
hello.
Testing,
hello,
testing.
Hello.
Check, 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 check.
Oh, our mics on now?
There.
All right, folks.
All right, everybody, sit down. Sit down.
All right, everybody. It is 5 p.m. on Tuesday, May 26, 2026, and we're going to call to order the Placerville City Council meeting. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Could I get a roll call, please?
Here. I'm here.
Councilmember Carter?
Here.
Councilmember Clarici?
Here.
Mayor Gottberg?
Here.
Vice Mayor No?
Here.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Here.
All right, we are going to move on to item number 3, ceremonial matters. 3.1, a proclamation recognizing the dedicated service and retirement of David R. Warren. Whereas the City Council of the City of Placerville pauses to honor and recognize David R. Warren upon his retirement on May 9th, 2026, celebrating a distinguished career of public service defined by integrity, fiscal expertise, and an unwavering commitment to our community. And whereas Dave began his journey with the city in 1994 as an accountant assistant 1, quickly earning a promotion to accountant assistant 2 just 1 month later. And though he briefly served as the chief fiscal officer for the Gold Trail Union School District, he returned to the city in 2002, beginning an aggregate 23-year legacy of leadership. And whereas Dave's professional ascent from the assistant finance director to finance director in 2004, and later to assistant city manager director of finance in 2018, served as the bedrock of the city's fiscal stability, culminating in his unanimous selection by the city council to serve as city manager in October 2025. And whereas as a proud Sacramento State alumnus and member of the Sac State Accountancy Alumni, Dave brought technical precision to the city's complex finances, notably serving as the key staff lead for Measures H and L Sales Tax Committee, providing the transparency and oversight necessary for critical street, water, and sewer infrastructure. Whereas Dave was instrumental in the stewardship of Measure J, the voter-approved initiative for peace officer safety, ensuring that our police department remained equipped and supported to protect the citizens of Placerville. And whereas over 2 decades, Dave served as a trusted and steady resource for the City Council, providing the expert financial analysis and institutional wisdom that informed years of council policy and sound governance. And whereas Dave's dedication to the community extended far beyond the walls of City Hall, notably serving for 8 years as the financial treasurer for the High Sierra Soccer League, where he volunteered his professional talents to support local youth sports and ensure a positive environment for the region's youth athletes. And whereas throughout his tenure, Dave has been a constant presence in the pages of the Mountain Democrat as a reliable voice of the city's finances, earning the respect of his colleagues, his peers, and the citizens of the historic foothill community he calls home. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Placerville does hereby extend its deepest gratitude and highest commendation to David R. Warren for his 23 years of exemplary service. We congratulate him on his retirement and wish him and his wife Julie and their 3 sons, Nick, Landon, and Jack, much happiness as Dave trades the city budget for the great outdoors. Go ahead and bring this down and let folks talk.
glasses on so I can see. Well, good evening, Mayor Gottberg, members of the City Council, city staff, friends, and family. Thank you for the warm reception, the watch, which is really cool. I actually got to see this before I received. Okay. And the kind words especially. That was very thoughtful of you. I'm very grateful for the fulfilling career I've had with the city of Placerville. Looking back, the things that attracted me to the city in 2002 were the opportunity, team culture, the commitment to mission of delivering exceptional city services to the public, which all remain today. I've had the privilege of working with some incredibly talented people, which many of you are here tonight. Together, we accomplished much over the past 23 years, including improving day-to-day services, the city's image, and completing numerous projects, including moving City Hall from the Ketchup and Mustard Building to 3101 Center Street, establishing and maintaining the city's website and social media pages, constructing $45 million improvements to the water reclamation facility, passage and implementation of Measure H and Measure L that was mentioned earlier, rebuilding the city's aquatic center. I know Ron Mueller's here and John Driscoll. They were the brainchildren of that project. Completion of the Joint Highway 50 Operations Project, constructing over $60 million in numerous other local transportation projects. Refinancing of the city's wastewater revenue bonds, which is saving the city $5 million over the remaining life of the bond. Completion of the pickleball courts at Lions Park. And just in the last 8 months, we've addressed several chronic personnel issues that I won't go into, but are helping the city operate smoothly and professionally. We've contracted with Mid-Valley IT, which is improving IT support, reducing chance of cyber threats at a lower overall cost. We've adjusted most fees and charges to shore up the city's finances and provide additional staffing for wastewater systems. The city contracted with Four Leaf to provide building, official, and inspection services at a lower cost. We are near completion of the PV solar project at the wastewater treatment plant, which will save approximately $150,000 per year in electricity costs. And we continue to navigate the $20 million broadband fiber project, which is a design build project, is tentatively scheduled to be completed in December. The keys to this success has been close collaboration between the City Council, staff, business partners, each playing a unique and clearly defined role in the process, along with hard work and some good luck. Another important component of this success is living within our means and making adjustments when necessary. And the city's always been excellent, and really appreciate the City Council's willingness to make those tough decisions when necessary. I'm very proud of our current administrative team. They are smart, creative, eager, and hardworking. I'm excited to watch them continue to grow and succeed in the future. And I've had the privilege of working with the interim city manager, Joe Wren, over the past 10 years. Joe is a seasoned leader who will do well guiding the city through this transition. And I want to thank my beautiful wife, Julie, for all her love and support for me in my career. Over the past 37 years, she's made a lot of sacrifices. And we love Placerville and plan on staying active in the community. And again, I just want to thank the City Council and staff and wish you continued success and prosperity in the future. Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and open it up for public comment on item 3.1. If anybody else would like to talk about Dave.
Hi, Steve Nope. I first met Dave over the issue with the sewer plant. We were $45 million in debt trying to figure it out, and went to the first meeting. God, I can't remember what school. I think it was at Schnell School. I can't remember exactly. And we're like, wow. We just moved here probably within maybe 10 years of that, and it was sort of exciting time of trying to figure that out. got to work with many people that are in the behind me, working on measures H and L, trying to get that passed so we could pay for it. But it was really nice to work with Dave. It was always great to see his presentations, how he broke down the dollars spent in the town with his big dollar that he had. So congratulations, Dave. Wish you the best and enjoy retirement.
Sue Rodman. I was on the Measure H, Measure L committee from the very get-go of getting Measure H put together, and still am on that committee, and we've done a good job, and Dave has been our leader for over the years of getting that measure done, and we've been at it since, what, 2012, I think, and it's still going strong. And it's providing the city a lot of help. And Dave provided the committee the leadership that we needed and the information that we needed to be able to provide recommendations to the city council as what projects and which things needed to be put in line first, second, third, and set the priorities for how to get this city so that we didn't we still have some things like the sewer line in the creek that's been there since 1933, but it's coming up, we'll get it. And but I really appreciate the leadership that Dave provided for our committee, because it was great. We couldn't have done it without him.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, staff. Good to see all of you. It's much more comfortable being down here than it was. If anybody's wondering, it's great. I want to congratulate Dave and thank him for his service. The last 15 years that I worked for the city, he was my right-hand person helping me out, and whenever I had something difficult to deal with, lots of times I had that discussion with Dave, and he always had good advice, and we could work together and didn't always agree, but we could always work together and figure out what was the best direction to go. So I think he did a great job. The city's in debt to him for his service over the last 20 years, and I appreciate the help and guidance he was to me when I was here as city manager. And I just want to thank him, congratulate him, and tell him to enjoy retirement. I can recommend it, so I hope he does well. Thank you, and good to see all of you.
Are there any further public?
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. It's really a pleasure to be here to recognize Dave and his long term here with the city. I sat in the big chairs, I sat in the little lower chairs, and Dave was so instrumental in my success and helping me. We became not only just work colleagues, but very, very close friends. And it was such a pleasure working with him. He brings a new definition to dedication. I was kind of a night owl. I mean, I'd stay late, but I never stayed later than Dave. I'd be on my way out the door, and there would be Dave working. You know, his dedication to the city was so contagious, and I think it reflected on the staff and other management level people in the city that worked closely with him, and I really appreciate that. A couple of Dave-isms, I'll call them, so I want to make this a little light, but these are some of my favorite little phrases he would say, and those of you that work closely with him, you may recognize some of these phrases. I always love this one. Sometimes I would see an issue or something was going on, some kind of decision need to be made, and Dave would just, in one fall swoop, past practice. That was it, okay, see ya. The other one is, you know, I always miss the Warren report, so now it'll be the Wren report. Doesn't a little bit of a ring to it, but the Warren report was always good, you know, very funny to me. And then Dave would always say, "It's a living document." I would hear that time and time again. It's a living document. So I'll miss that. And he would always say he really enjoyed the workings of local government, and that's something that I remember expressing to you when I retired, and I'm sure Dave feels the same way. When you're working in local government, you're really close to the people, and you're trying to provide the best services to the public. So, we're surrounded by, let's just say, upper levels of government, from the federal level and the state level. I mean, need I say any more? There's no comparison to what we do here to our citizens than those other governments that are just feathering their own nests. And I really appreciated Dave's attention to detail and maintaining a balanced budget. One thing that probably, this is just between the two of us, but I got to do it since I know Dave is here. I got to say it for all time's sake. Running bear. And whoa, whoa, whoa. He knows what I mean by doing that. I had to do it, because I'll probably never get the chance to do that again in this context. But anyways, I just want to wish Dave a wonderful retirement. Anybody can ask me what it means, and I can tell him after the meeting or sometime. But anyways, I want to wish him, his wife Julie and his family, his boys, just a great time. It's a good time. It's been good to me. I'm sure he'll feel the same. Cleve, he looks younger. I didn't even recognize him when I saw him. So anyways, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to recognize Dave.
Are there any further public comments?
Hello. I'm Nick Warren. I'm Dave Warren's firstborn. And I just wanted to come up and say that we're really proud of you. And I usually don't give speeches backwards, so, yeah, we're really proud, not just for the time you dedicated to the city of Placerville, but for everything you've accomplished throughout your life. And I'm going to skip over a bunch of this just to save us some time, but everything from working at Sutter's Mill to give us the community we have, to the opportunities you gave my brothers and I with the career that you had with the city. I'm very grateful for it. And you can't really ask me about how to run a city, or definitely don't bring up any sort of city planning to me. I don't really know how to discuss it, but I know what excitement looks like. And my dad would be walking us downtown, and it could be the guy who owns the new shop and he'd introduce us, or it could be this new fresh paint on one of the new restaurants. But this guy absolutely loved this city and still does. And let's see. If it was passing out candy at Halloween or decorating the trees at Christmas, every single year, my dad has always been Placerville's #1 fan. He's truly proud of this city. And I wrote down here, it wasn't until my mid-20s that I could understand just how exciting the new water treatment plan was. But I could always tell that my dad was extremely enthusiastic about what he did, and that's rare to find. And yeah, I guess we'll wrap up. Dad, your work here at the city leaves behind a real legacy. But I just want you to know that your greatest accomplishments were never just the job. Your life that you built, the people you impacted, and the family you raised matter just as much. I hope you know how proud of you we all are.
All right. Any further public comments on 3.1? All right, I see none. Would the council like to comment?
I would. I just want to thank Dave. You know, everyone knows him as our finance guy and the professional aspect, but what a lot of people didn't see is, you know, every Christmas parade, Dave was the one down there decorating the float. Even if it was only him, you know, he was there for every event on Main Street, you know, helping and just behind the scenes ways that he never asked for credit and no one ever saw, and his enthusiasm for this town is just outstanding, and I want to thank him for that, and hope to see you out there still. Thanks.
I'll definitely echo those comments. I've worked with you, Dave, for pretty much all the roles I've had with the city. You've been right there, and you've taught me a lot. I appreciate that. Your professionalism, your knowledge, your list of accomplishments is incredible. So thank you very much for everything you've done for us, for the city, and we'll miss you.
Public service is not easy. It's a challenge. It takes a rare individual to occupy that space, especially for this many years, and do it with a certain amount of aplomb and dedication. It helps to love the place you work in, and it was a credit to Dave that he had that passion for the community, and it's hard to replicate. We will miss that because this is not easy work. We could all go out and do other things. Most of the people here are talented in so many ways, and if they didn't want to work in public service, they could work in private service and probably make more money and do more things. The fact that people like Dave pretty much commit their lives to this sort of thing is something that we should recognize more, cherish more. We get these opportunities to do that. It's probably not enough. So anyway, congratulations, Dave. And you can call my wife. She's been retired for 1.5 years, and I barely see her anymore. And she's pretty happy about that, I think. But it's a good time, and enjoy it because you've earned that. And good luck in the future. And thank you very much.
Yes, I just wanted to say, you know, your love of the city, we all saw it, the dedication and the love of the city, and that you gave your heart to it, and, you know, not an easy job to do, any of the jobs that you've done for the city over the years, so we really appreciate that. All right, we're going to move on to item 3.2, a proclamation recognizing Tim Cordero for 39 years of service with the El Dorado County Fire. Whereas Tim began his career in the fire service in 1986 as a volunteer firefighter with the Pleasant Valley Fire Department and was later hired as a full-time firefighter EMT in 1987. And whereas Tim attended and graduated from the Sacramento City Fire Academy in 1991, at which time the Pleasant Valley Fire Department merged with the El Dorado County Fire Protection District. And whereas in 1992, Tim was assigned to Station 25, where he served as a firefighter and later captain until 2005, earning the confidence and respect of both the department and the community. And whereas Tim was promoted to a battalion chief in 2005, a position he held until his promotion to division chief in 2013, during which time he consistently demonstrated strong leadership and earned the confidence and respect of both department staff and the community. And whereas by virtue of his proven record of exemplary leadership and his ability to inspire confidence among both staff and the community, Tim was appointed to his final rank as fire chief of the El Dorado County Fire Protection District on January 2nd, 2020. And whereas throughout his tenure, Tim has successfully led and completed numerous high-level initiatives, reinforcing public safety and enhancing the well-being of the residents and communities of Placerville and El Dorado County. And whereas Tim Cordero is retiring from the El Dorado County Fire Protection District after 39 years of distinguished and dedicated service to the communities of Placerville and El Dorado County. Now, therefore, I, Nicole Gottberg, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Placerville, state of California, do hereby urge all citizens to join me in recognizing Tim Cordero for his tireless and meaningful service to our community, express our deepest appreciation for his 39 years of public service, and extend our very best wishes to all his future endeavors.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council, and thank you for those kind words. Really appreciate it. It's been a great ride, and but I think I would like to echo the words that I've heard from the council numerous times regarding your city staff. And the staff that you have here at the city is absolutely amazing. When I came into this position back in 2020, they welcomed me into the fold of the weekly staff meetings, and it's been just a tremendous opportunity to work alongside some of the folks from PD for years and years. But the city staff is just the citizens are very fortunate and blessed with the staff that keeps this city running. It's kind of interesting. It was late '91 when I was a young fireman out in Pleasant Valley, and there was a spot opened up in Placerville, and I was like, I'm going to the city, I turned in my paperwork for my bid assignment, and when I got that notice, like, yeah, you're going to go to 25, I was just super stoked, like, leaving Pleasant Valley and going into the city, and I just got hooked. The community in Placerville, working in the city, working with. It's been phenomenal, and I was fortunate and blessed to be able to stay and working out of Station 25 from '92 up until I came into this office in 2020, which has just been absolutely. It's hard to call it a job. It's just a blessing, to be able to serve the citizens of Placerville and out into El Dorado County, and for me, even as I moved in the office of fire chief. You have those days where it's just like, you're either on the computer or you're working on projects or who knows what happens. And it's like, okay, I got to go to 25. Leave my office and I would drive over to 25 and just take that break, go back home. 25 it's always been home for me. And it's kind of cool with my two boys. You'll frequently see they'll have different fire, memorabilia and stuff that they'll get or whatnot. And they always look for the one that has a 25 on it. If they find something with a 25, they're like, "Yeah, Dad, look what we got." It's super cool. But it's just been it's been a blessing. It's been an honor to serve the citizens of Placerville and El Dorado County. And the last 6 years as a fire chief is just something I never imagined I would be in. It was never a goal of mine, but I embraced it and just really enjoyed. The mentorship that I gained off of Cleve, being part of the city staff and just watching him and Chief Wren and Commander Chief Mayseal. It's been really fortunate, and I just thank the city for the opportunity to serve over these years, and my wife who's here. She's been there the whole time, and she's here this evening. And the busy weekends and the late nights and being gone and all those things, never once complained. Really just was there as my grounding rod, which has been amazing. And I guess in closing, I would love to stay for the rest of your city council meeting. However, I'm going to start practicing and getting into retirement, and I have 2 grandkids that are at the house right now. So thank you for this, and really truly appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and yeah, I'm going to give our staff an opportunity to do what they want to do.
Whatever. Hit it with a hammer.
That's a test, Dan.
What's he saying?
You don't want to know.
Tim, I've known you for a long time, since I've worked here, and even before I worked here. You know my mom, she worked at Rayleigh's. You mentioned Station 25. Station 25 was kind of like the night shift substation for the police department. A lot of fun memories there. A lot of cool things happen there. Yep, at least for a few more days. A few months ago, Chief Wren, Commander Muser, and I, we all sat down and an idea was spawned to create something for you from the police department to you. So Mr. Gunnarsson was supposed to be, well, I was hoping he'd be here because he's been here at the last couple council meetings, but he couldn't be here today. But I would like to give him some recognition to him and his students for the excellent work that they did. So I'm going to go up there and I'm going to grab something for you, and we'll be right back.
Don't be nervous. It's a good thing.
That's very cool. What is it? It's the back of plywood. Oh, I saw just a.
This is for you.
Can you show that to us, please, just for a second? Because we just saw the back. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Yes, I know.
Public. All right, we are gonna.
Other gifts?
Yeah, we're gonna open it up for public comment.
Sorry to interrupt your flow.
She's over here telling me to, you know.
Keep it going.
Keep going.
He thinks he's ready. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Mayor, City Council, I'd like to say a couple words on behalf of Chief Cordero here. Brad Gates, the incoming fire chief. I think it's worthy to acknowledge somebody who spent almost 4 decades in one career path with one organization. That's not an easy feat to establish. For me coming in, I'm extremely grateful for what he's left me. He's put us in a very advantageous position to continue to grow the district, and that is my intent. So I'm just a huge thank you to Chief Cordero. Hats off to you, and I hope you enjoy your retirement.
All right. Would other members of the public like to get up and comment?
Sue Rodman, member of the Placerville Fire Safe Council. And I really appreciate that Chief Cordero was one of the supporters of the Fire Safe Council and all of the, when we tried to put together a event for people to learn how to keep their homes fire safe and how to do a better job with their own property. And also anything that the Fire Safe Council was trying to do. Chief Cordero was always there for us, and he was very supportive. And without him and his leadership, I'm not sure we would have made it. So thank you, Chief Cordero.
I know.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, Pierre Rivas. Just want to say a few words about Chief Tim Cordero. First, I just want to wish him the very best in his retirement and thank him for his dedication to the city. So what did I notice? And I'm sure other people noticed as well. What were the changes when he became the chief of the El Dorado County Fire Protection District? He blurred the lines between the city of Placerville government and the fire district. He became part of the city staff, and he really raised the bar for service. He attended all of the city staff meetings. He attended all of the council meetings. It was rare that I didn't see him here being able to answer questions or anything else. So I think that to me was really what really shined and what he brought to his department, his leadership, but then bridging any kind of a gap so that you felt like it was one government in unison working together to provide exemplary service to the citizens of the city of Placerville and for El Dorado County for that matter. But I just want to wish him the best in his retirement. He's got grandkids now. I wish him the very best for he and his family. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mark Acuna, former Placerville City Council member and also existing member of the Placerville Fire Safe Council. I wasn't really prepared to speak today, but I couldn't let Tim get out of the house without coming up and saying a few things about the work that we've done together. And the things that I've observed, Pierre is certainly correct in his comments in regards to the standards of service that it was Chief Cordero that brought to really making an important recognition. As you can imagine, with all the issues in the fire districts, and in our own county, there are a lot of fire districts that are in trouble. And we can proudly say that thanks to Tim and his leadership, we aren't. He has successfully consolidated Diamond Springs El Dorado Fire into El Dorado County Fire. They did that while recognizing all of the traditions of service and dedication that both of those memberships brought to the table. He went through a process called LAFCO, which I would bet there's only a handful of folks in the room that know what that means, but it meant a years-long effort through a series of very nerve-wracking meetings, always after hours, of course. His troops were always there. Everything was prepared. And we today just recently celebrated the consolidation of those fire districts. I'll go back even further, and he's mentioned a Station 25, and for those that may not know what he's talking about, that's absolutely his love, 25. That is the fire station on Sacramento Street. It also happens to be the busiest fire station in El Dorado County. And so you can see that he's a little bit of a run junkie, and I get that. I was really honored to get glimpses into his world and the respect that his leadership brought to all of his staff, and the look of dedication in their faces when he would interact with them. It's really, I'm very honored to have been a part of that. I thank him for what he did for the Fire Safe Council. As was mentioned, we probably wouldn't survive without them. So I would just like to thank him again and wish him luck with his retirement. He's already started well. He's already been to Spain, so he knows how to travel well. So, Chief and your wife, congratulations on many years of service to this county.
Are there any further public comments on Chief Cordero? All right, I see none, so we'll bring it up to the council if anybody on the council would like to say anything.
Well, 39 years of service, public service, just speaks for itself. That's tremendous, and we just so appreciate your dedication to the city. As everyone's mentioned, the bridges that you have built with us, and what I'm going to miss most is the playful banter between you and the chief. You guys brighten up every city council meeting. Wishing you well on your retirement. Thank you.
Absolutely, and 39 years in one department is unbelievable. Congratulations to you and your family. Enjoy those grandkids; they're the best, and we're going to miss you. Thanks, Tim.
I thought it was interesting because both with Dave and Tim, love of the city, and saying what he was really excited. Somebody get that phone. Come on. Oh, geez, it's you. You could go outside. Okay, you turned it off. Good for you. You can turn the ringer down, you know. Okay. The fact that he was really excited to come from Pleasant Valley to Placerville is pretty interesting. But it's a thing, you know. I tell people all the time, you know, I get calls from folks in El Dorado Hills because, like, you know, well, what's it like to be the city? And I go, it's way better than being the county. And I don't just say that as a joke. It's true. We have a sense of place. We have obviously, well, we just had 171st or second birthday at our last meeting. And in some way, Tim recognized that. He goes, I want to be there. That's the place to be. And we should never forget that. We are all blessed, those of us who actually live in the city, and those of the folks that work for the city, and those of us who get the great services of the city should always recognize that. And Tim really exemplified that. And so, and especially since the fire district is its own little separate government, they have their own board, they can do whatever they want. But the idea that he tied that service to this city, I think, was essential for how things evolved, and they've all evolved for the better. My opinion. So anyway, you can call Yvette too. She's retired, and you can talk to her. But do enjoy yourself. Congratulations, grandchildren are wonderful. You get to rile them up, and then you give them back, and it's great. Anyway, but thank you very much for your service, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just reiterate, you know, your love of the city and the service that you provided. I know when I was on LAFCO, you were an alternate commissioner and you were sitting in every single meeting, no matter how late it went. And similarly here, you know, you would be at our city council meetings, you know, even if there was just nothing for you on the agenda that you had to be here for, but and sometimes those went quite late. So, I mean, I think just all of that extra time and dedication that you spent and contributed to the city of Placerville. We all noticed that dedication and really appreciated it, and we'll miss you.
Yeah, okay, so I kind of saved mine to give both Dave and Chief Cordero. The amount of years you guys have given to this community have been amazing. Thank you very much for doing so. Enjoy your retirement. I know it's a big step. I know you're going to have to kind of relearn some things. I want to congratulate your wives because now they're going to have to figure out what to do with you because they've been, you know, supporting you guys throughout all of these years doing this for our city. So we want to thank them too. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to move on to item 3.3. Do we want to do the proclamations and then, yeah. No, but just so I can say we're not going to read them.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes. So yes, item 3.3, a proclamation recognizing Davey Doc Weisner for his meaningful contributions to our community. That will be read by Vice Mayor No at the Wagon Train event. And then item 3.4, a proclamation in recollection of the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics on May 29th, 2026, will be read by me at the Special Olympics torch run event. So if folks would like to speak to those, you can. You also are free to get up and leave if you do not want to continue with our meeting after our ceremonial matters. All right, folks, we're going to move on with our meeting. So if you could step outside if you're not here for our meeting, it would be great. Item number 4, closed session report. City Attorney Ibrahimi.
Thank you, Mayor Gottberg. The council met in closed session on 2 items today. We had 1 public comment. The council provided direction on both items.
All right. Item number 5, adoption of the agenda. I do believe we had a duplication of 1 item if we want to make that change when we adopt the agenda.
I will move adoption with removing item 10.2 since it is a duplicate of item 10.1.
I will second that.
All right. I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. We are going to move on now to item number 6. Brief comments by the City Council. Councilmember Yarborough.
Nothing tonight.
Carter.
Yes, I attended the Memorial Day ceremony yesterday at the Veterans Monument. A beautiful event, as always. And I want to say thank you to our veterans and active duty military, and especially the Gold, Silver, and Blue Star families in our community. Thank you very much for your service and for your sacrifice.
Vice Mayor No.
I attended the Eldorado Transit Safety and Expert Driving Awards, and just really want to give those folks a shout out. All of our public bus drivers, they actually go through a lot to provide the service they do, and they deserve some credit for that, and just wanted to give them a shout out. I also attended a meeting at the Midtown Apartments to discuss the Mallard Apartments and with staff, and hopefully gave them some direction to help get their project done.
With any luck at all.
Clarici.
Hi there. Thank you. I want to remind everybody that the wagon train and Golden History Days, that event all together is June 6th downtown. The street will be closed. Lots of things will be done. And I'll say something of a proclamationary sort of way. Unfortunately, we did not have one on our agenda, but we will say something official at that meeting in a very legal, non-violatory way. So anyway, but I remind everybody to go down. It'll be a good time. Lots of good stuff. Folks are organizing this. They've got their act together. They're going to that's going to get done. So anyway, wagon train, June 6th.
Yeah, I attended the Memorial Day event and read the city's proclamation at that event at the Veterans Monument on Memorial Day. All right, so we're going to move on now to item number 7, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote unless any member of the council wishes to remove an item for discussion. Would any member like to remove any items for discussion? All right, I see none. Would any member of the public like to comment on item number 7, our consent calendar items? All right, I see none, so I will bring it back to the council.
I'll move the consent calendar.
I'll second.
All right, I have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. So we're going to move on to item number 8, public comment, non-agenda items. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the council in any matter not in the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. If you would like to talk on this item, you'll be limited to 3 minutes. Please feel free to come forward now if you want to talk on something that is not elsewhere on our agenda.
Hi there. I'm Gail Holloway. And I started a petition in regards to a safety issue, a traffic safety issue in my neighborhood. So it's short. I'll read the petition. It was signed by most of the people in my neighborhood. Every single one of the people that signed this petition has had several near misses. And the other day I was coming out, there's 2 blind curves. And I was coming out looking this way, this way, this way, and by the time you look this way, somebody's flying around this way. If they would have hit my car, my grandson was sitting right there. So that's what motivated me to start this petition. So it reads that we, the Gold Nugget Road neighborhood residents, would like to bring to the attention of the Placerville City Council a serious traffic concern. The issue is a double-blind curve on Forney Road where it intersects with Gold Nugget Way. Many of us can attest to numerous close calls and near misses of possible collisions resulting from line-of-sight issues at this specific location on Forney Road. We would like the Placerville City Council to direct your engineers with the City of Placerville Engineering and Public Works Department to evaluate the situation and report back to the Placerville City Council and to this neighborhood group. Some possible improvements would include a flashing sign that says blind curves. Now, there is a little tiny sign, it's so cute. It says blind curve, caution. Nobody can see it, everybody ignores it. Also, motion sensors detecting, so if we're stopped at Gold Nugget, if there's a motion sensor here that's flashing, go, okay, don't go. Flashing here, don't go. So those are two possible solutions. A friend of mine said that she thinks a flashing light that says caution, vehicles entering, because it's such a blind curve that you really need to get people's attention, get them to slow down. Maybe a three-way stop. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. That's their job. No matter what the exact solution, something needs to be done. I know unless there's a collision or something happens, human nature is to work on crisis instead of being proactive, and I'm asking you, please be proactive. And I also think it would be beneficial for all of you all to take a little field trip. Start at Fuller's Body Shop, drive west on Forney Road, make a left-hand turn. It's a Hail Mary. Go into Gold Nugget, turn around, come back. There's a mirror there, but if a dark car is in the shade, it doesn't do any good. Or if the sun's hitting it, it doesn't do any good. So you come to Gold Nugget, make a left-hand turn. And that's the only way that you will appreciate what the anxiety that we go through every time we leave the neighborhood. So anyway, I hope that you can take it seriously. Oh, and another point is, since the new off-ramp from Highway 50 to Ray Lawyer, it goes straight across to Forney Road. So our traffic has increased significantly, which increases our risk. So I really hope you'll be proactive and do something before one of us gets badly hurt or one of my little grandsons is killed.
Right, yep.
And I mean, it's a serious thing.
Can you
So
please,
I have a copy of the petition if you guys.
do you have your contact information on that petition?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, do you have your contact information on that petition?
I just have my name. I should write.
Yeah, could you leave like a phone number, email? Thank you.
Do you want email or just phone number?
Both, yeah. All right. Would any other members of the public like to comment on open public comment? This is non-agenda items.
Peg Vanderkarp, Placerville resident. I feel a little puny saying this small thing after this momentous occasion, and also I wanted to say I appreciate all of you very much, having been here for 46 years. However, what I had to say is small but momentous to me. On Country Club Drive, there was a contractor that apparently didn't show up, or I don't know what happened, but they were going to repave part of the road where the wires had been buried, which stops one house short of my house. That repaving was stopping one house short of my house, too. It didn't happen, but at my house and the next one next to me, there are 3 major grooves, cuts. My house's groove is a break. It's getting wider and wider and has plants growing in front of it. And if there's going to be repaving, I would really appreciate those to be filled in, too. It's just a little farther, and it wouldn't, well, it probably would take millions more, but anyway, to me, it seems like not much more than the other part of the road that has a lot of new paving on it anyway. So it's a complaint, but a very small one. But I thought I'd use the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on non-agenda items? All right, I see none, so we're going to go ahead and I guess 8.2, did we have any written communications?
No, Madam Mayor.
All right, we had no items pulled from our consent order calendar, so we are going to move on to item number 10, ordinances. 10.1, consideration of zoning ordinance amendment 2602, amendments to Title 10 of the Placerville Municipal Code to modify and standardize required findings for various entitlements in chapters 3, 4, 7, and 8, and to add new sections for general plan amendments 10-13-12 and zone changes 10-3-14. Ms. Kendrick.
Thank you, Mayor Gottberg and members of the City Council. Carol Kendrick, Director of Development Services, presenting this zoning ordinance amendment. This amendment modernizes and standardizes the required findings for many of our discretionary land use actions and adds clear procedures and findings for two important legislative actions, which are general plan amendments and zone changes. Why are we doing this? Over time, our zoning ordinance findings have become inconsistent and in some cases outdated. This update brings them up to the current best practices and aligns them more clearly with state law and our general plan. Importantly, these changes do not alter permitted uses, development standards, density, or who makes a final decision. They only clarify what decision makers must find before approving a project. Key elements include updated findings for variances and conditional use permit, including new language on general plan consistency, compatibility, and a finding addressing potential disproportionate effects on minority or low-income populations. Streamlined findings for site plan review, minor deviations, and subdivision actions. And again, the two new sections that clearly spell out the process required findings for general plan amendments and zone change, something that was previously not in the code. These updates will improve consistency, transparency, and defensibility of our decisions while reducing legal risk. These updates, the Planning Commission reviewed this at their May meeting and voted to recommend approval by a vote of 3-0. The commission only had minor comments on capitalization and clarification of approval authority. Staff has determined that the amendment is exempt from CEQA as a regulatory clarification with no potential for significant environmental impacts. There is also no fiscal impact. Staff's recommendation is to make the findings outlined in the staff report and introduce and waive the first reading of the ordinance scheduled for adoption on June 9th. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the council? All right, I see none. So we will open the public hearing if any member of the public would like to comment on 10.1. All right, I see none. So we will close the public hearing and bring it back up to the council.
I'll move staff recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. All right, we're going to move on now to item number 11, public hearings. 11.1, consider approving the engineer's report for the Cottonwood Park and Orchard Hill landscaping and lighting maintenance districts and directing NBS to prepare and submit the levy of assessments to El Dorado County for the placement of the fiscal year 2026-2027 secured property tax roll. Ms. Tornin-Casa.
Good afternoon, Mayor Gottberg and City Council members. So this is a routine item, and the purpose of tonight's staff report is to hold a public hearing and approve the city's landscaping, lighting, and maintenance district called LMD assessments for the upcoming fiscal year of 2026-2027. So just some really quick background. We held a meeting on April 28th, 2026, and during that meeting, City Council adopted a resolution declaring its intention to provide the annual levy and collection of assessments for the city's LMD as required by Division 15, Part 2 of the Streets Highways Code of the State of California for Cottonwood Park and Orchard Hill subdivisions. So once the adoption of that resolution took place, that was step one of the two-step process. So during this meeting, we are looking to we provided the draft engineers' reports, and so now we'd like, as step two, to adopt those reports. And it does require a public hearing. For the costs, it's basic costs of operating and maintaining both the Cottonwood Park and Orchard Hill LMDs for the upcoming fiscal year is estimated at $14,255, and $20,464 respectively. Tonight, I kindly ask that you adopt the resolution approving the annual levy and collection of the LMD assessments as presented.
Great. Are there any questions from the council? Great. I see none. I'm opening the public hearing for item 11.1. Would any member of the public like to comment on this item? All right. I see none. We're going to close the public hearing for 11.1 and bring it back to the council.
I will move staff's recommendation.
I will second.
All right. I have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. We're going to move on to item 11.2. Hold a public hearing on city position vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts in accordance with Assembly Bill 2561. Ms. Tornin-Casa.
Thank you, Mayor Gottberg and City Council members. So this is the second year we are holding a public hearing on city position vacancies, recruitment and retention efforts, and receiving input from the employee organizations. Some just quick background. On September 22nd, 2024, Governor Newsom signed Assembly Bill 2561 into law, becoming effective January 1st, 2025. The law amends the Myers-Brown Act by adding Section 3502.3 to the Government Code. The law requires that a public agency presents the status of vacancies, recruitment, and retention efforts during a public hearing before the governing body at least once per fiscal year. Because the city adopts an annual budget, this presentation must be presented prior to the adoption of the final budget next month. Just some quick discussion. There have been no changes to policies or procedures that will further lead to obstacles in the hiring process. The biggest challenge in the hiring process, especially for the two engineering positions, continues to be the lack of qualified applicants. The number of job vacancies in a single bargaining unit does not meet or exceed 20% of the total number of authorized full-time positions. And the quick update on the status of the city's position vacancies is we have an assistant engineer and an associate engineer. We have a water reclamation facility operator, a senior maintenance worker, and a police officer position, but it's my understanding that maybe there are two police officer positions that came available, which recruiting is continuous. To aid in recruitment and retention efforts, the city will continue to evaluate each vacant position salary to ensure the pay is competitive and within market as possible. That concludes my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Are there any questions from the council? All right, I see none, so I'm going to open the public hearing on item 11.2. Would any member of the public like to comment on this item? All right, I see none. I'm going to close the public hearing on 11.2 and bring it back to the council.
I'll recommend staff recommendation 11.2.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. All right, we're going to move on to item 11.3, General Plan Amendment GPA 26-02 and Zone Change ZC 26-02 to apply the housing opportunity overlay to 7444 and 7460 Green Valley Road, and recommendation to adopt a mitigated negative declaration. Ms. Kendrick.
Good evening, Mayor Gottberg and members of the City Council. I'm presenting this item tonight. This action directly implements Program A3 of our certified 2021 through 2029 housing element. The program committed the city to rezoning 3 specific sites to create capacity for high-density, affordable housing at a minimum of 20 dwelling units per acre. This site is the second of 3. The overlay would allow by right up to 60 multifamily units with at least 50% affordable to very low and low income households. This helps us meet our RENA obligations and maintain substantial compliance with state housing element law. I'd like to stress that no development is proposed at this time. Although the site is well suited for this use, it is adjacent to commercial uses and the Boys and Girls Club. It has good transit access near Rayleigh's and is large enough to accommodate quality development under the Housing Opportunity Overlays objective standards with a minimum of 20 DUs per acre, a 40-foot height limit, and 60% lot coverage with 1.5 parking spaces per unit. An initial study and mitigated negative declaration was prepared, and it was found that with incorporated mitigation measures for biological resources, cultural resources, geology, hydrology, noise, and wildfire, all potential impacts are reduced to less than significant levels. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 5th. Opposition was raised at the meeting by Dr. Candace Rapp, a nearby property owner, primarily regarding potential traffic impacts. Staff clarified that this is not a development application and no apartments are proposed at this time. This is a legislative action only to apply the housing opportunity overlay. Any future developments proposals would be reviewed independently on their own merits, subject to the housing opportunity overlay standards, site topography, and all mitigation measures. The Planning Commission did vote to recommend approval by a vote of 3-0. We also received written comments from the neighboring resident regarding privacy, noise, and traffic, and from the Department of Toxic Substance Control with technical recommendations on hazardous materials. These have been addressed in the staff report, and the DTSC's recommendations will be applied as conditions on any future development permits. Tonight, staff recommends that the City Council adopt the mitigated negative declaration, approve the resolution for General Plan Amendment 26-02, and introduce and waive the first reading of Ordinance ZC 2602. This action is critical for continued housing element compliance. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the council? All right, I see none, so I'm going to open the public hearing on item 11.3. Would any member of the public like to comment on this item?
Mike Vanderkar, a representative of Housing El Dorado in this position and of the Continuum of Care. I wanted to thank the city for working proactively to meet the obligation to meet housing goals for affordable and low income. It's very hard to get these things done if they're not moved ahead proactively. So I really appreciate this and hearing about it. Thank you.
Sue Rodman, Placerville resident. And we all know that we have approximately our population doubles from everybody who lives here into everybody who works here. And one of the reasons that it doubles is because people cannot find housing inside the city. So we do have an obligation, I think, to meet meet some kind of housing development so that the people can live here and can afford to enjoy the beautiful city that we have. So I think this looks to me like a very well done proposal. And I would like to thank Carol Kendrick for her work on this, because these are not easy things to do, and to get housing so that you can have it, and so that it works for people, so that they can afford to live and work here. Thank you.
All right, are there any further public comments on this item? All right, I see none, so I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back up to the council.
I'll move the staff recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, I have a first and a second. Could I roll call vote, please?
Sorry, could I get a repeat on who seconded? Was that, okay. Thank you. Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Goldberg?
Aye. All right, we're going to move on now to item number 12, discussion action items 12.1, award of contract for professional services 2029 through 2037, seventh cycle housing element update. Ms. Kendrick.
Good evening, Mayor Gottberg and members of the City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present the award of contract for the 2029 through 2037 seventh cycle housing element. As required by state law, the city must adopt its next housing element by May 15, 2029. I know that sounds like a long time away, but it'll be here before we know it. Housing elements take approximately about 2 years to complete, so we're right on time. This update is critical for maintaining compliance, enabling future residential development, and positioning Placerville to access important state and regional housing resources. On April 13th, we released a request for proposals and received 2 responsive bids. After careful evaluation, sorry, I'm tripping up tonight. After careful evaluation using the RFP criteria, staff recommends awarding the contract to Lisa Weiss Consulting, Inc. in partnership with Rincon Consultants for CEQA support in the amount not to exceed $215,000. Both firms negotiated their fees downward. LWC's final proposed amount, again, is $215,000, while Precision Civil Engineering's is $169,000. In the evaluation, LWC scored the highest. With my evaluation, LWC received a point total of 83, and Precision Civil Engineering received a 76.5. Independent scoring by planner Carl Cahill was 93 for LWC and 90.5 for Precision Civil Engineering. I'm kind of stingy with my numbers, so LWC is a specialized housing firm with over 35 completed housing elements, including more than a dozen successful six-cycle housing element updates that were adopted and certified by HCD. They also demonstrated strong familiarity with Placerville's current projects, such as Mallard and Milltown Apartments. In contrast, Precision Civil Engineering has completed only 2 elements to date. While PCE offers a lower cost and useful visual tools for community engagement, LWC's significantly deeper expertise makes them the best position to successfully navigate the complex sites inventory and secure timely HCD certification. This contract will span approximately 3 fiscal years, with kickoff starting in Q1 of 2027, with initial funding from the General Planning Division budget. Staff is actively pursuing grant reimbursements through the Pro Housing designation, which I'll hopefully be bringing something to you next meeting. We will be looking at going for CDBG funding for the years 2027 and 2028 to assist with trying to fund these efforts. And I've mentioned before, I am acutely tracking Assembly Bill 2002, which aims to codify and restore the Regional Early Action Planning, known as REAP grant. This program provides grants to local governments specifically to support housing element updates, zoning reforms, and other housing acceleration efforts. I've received an update today, and the bill has passed the Assembly floor around May 23rd, 2026, and is now heading to the Senate for consideration. So I was told it wouldn't make it through appropriations, so I'm like fingers crossed. Mm-hmm. And we did use REAP funding for cycle 6 and some of those items. So at this time, I'd like to recommend that the City Council authorize the City Manager to execute a professional services agreement with Lisa Weiss Consulting, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $215,000. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Are there any questions from the council? No. Would any member of the public like to comment on this item? All right. I see none. I'll bring it back up to the council for a motion.
I'll move staff recommendation 12.1.
I'll second that.
All right. I have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. All right, moving on to 12.2, consider authorizing the city manager to exceed standard signing authority and ratify, execute a month-to-month consultant agreement with Four Leaf Inc. in the amount not to exceed $30,000 for the temporary chief building official services in the Development Services Department and approving a $30,000 budget allocation from the general fund contingency for unforeseen expenditures for the said services. Ms. Kendrick.
Good evening, Mayor Gottberg and members of the City Council. Thank you for hearing this urgent item. The Development Services Department is requesting authorization and ratification of a month-to-month consultant agreement with Four Leaf Inc. to provide a qualified, licensed chief building official. This addresses the recent separation of our building official from the city, which has created an immediate staffing gap in critical permitting and inspection functions. The Development Services Department oversees building permitting, plan review, inspections, and code enforcement, essential for public safety, housing production, and economic development. The city's building official separated from the city, creating an urgent vacancy that risks delays in permit processing and departmental operations. On May 12, 2026, the city released a RFP for longer-term contract building official services, approximately 2 days per week plus on-call. Proposals are due on May 29th of 2026. I looked this afternoon around 1:45, and we had 27 businesses look at the RFP and 21 downloaded it as of today. To prevent service disruptions in the interim, staff executed a month-to-month consultant agreement with Four Leaf, signed by the Director of Development Services. Services include full oversight of plan review, inspections, permitting, code interpretation, and customer service. This agreement is time and materials based per the fee schedule and terminable within 10 days' notice. Anticipated cost after the first month exceed the city manager's standard signing authority. This is an unbudgeted expenditure funded from the general fund. However, we are hoping to offset a portion of the cost with the vacancy savings from the current unfilled building official position. Staff will closely monitor expenditures and return to council for additional authorization if the costs are projected to exceed $30,000 during this current fiscal year. Four Leaf will provide a fully certified building official meeting all state and ICC requirements. Staff requests that the council adopt the draft resolution which authorizes the city manager to exceed his signing authority, ratifies the consultant agreement with Four Leaf Inc., and authorizes issuances notice to proceed, task orders, minor amendments, and payments of invoices from the general fund. This is not considered a project under CEQA, and this does align with our strategic plan and supports health and public safety strategy 7 permit processes. Options for the council are to approve the recommendation, preferred to ensure service continuity, or direct staff to pursue alternative interim solutions. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the council? No. Would any member of the public like to comment on this item? All right, I see none. I will bring it back up to the council.
I'll move staff recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, I have a first and a second. Could I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. All right, we're going to move on to 12.3, approve an employment agreement with Natalie Tornicasa, Director of Finance. Mr. Wren.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. This is the paperwork portion of your decision which was a great decision, by the way, to appoint Natalie as our finance director. She was presented with the draft employment agreement, and she accepted. I gave her that before I gave her a bunch of other work, so that was the good news part of the conversation. If approved by the council tonight, her annual salary will be $135,252, although she's probably worth about 5 times that. So, 5 times that. So, well, she understands she's never going to get it. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from the council? Would any member of the public like to comment on 12.3? All right, I see none. We'll bring it back up to the council.
I will move staff's recommendation.
I'll second. Oh, we got you.
No.
All right.
The gentleman to my left.
First and a second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Carter?
Aye.
Councilmember Clarici?
Aye.
Councilmember Yarbrough?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No?
Aye.
Mayor Gottberg?
Aye. All right. We are going to move on to item number 13, council reports from other agency meetings. El Dorado County Transit Authority.
We meet next week.
El Dorado County Transportation Commission.
We meet next week.
LAFCO.
We meet tomorrow.
SACOG.
We met. There's nothing to comment on. I will comment though that we will be hosting the June meeting here actually on it's like the 18th or something of June. It's around there somewhere. So, yeah, that's it.
Great. Pioneer Community Energy.
We did meet. I had to leave early to come back for our budget workshop, but the one item I was there for was that we're formulating our budget for next year, and we'll be ratifying that at the next meeting.
Placerville Fire Safe Council. We meet next week, I believe. Yes. Opportunity Knox.
We meet next week.
All right, we're going to move on. Oh, would any member of the public like to comment on item 13? All right, I see none. Item 14, request for future agenda items. Would anybody want to request a future agenda item? All right, I see none. So item 15, city manager and staff reports. 15.1, receive and file April 2026 police report stacks. Acting Chief Maciel.
Mayor Gottberg and members of the City Council, before you are the April 26, 2026 police stats. I'd just like to point out the excellent work our officers are doing by keeping our response time for priority 1 calls near that 4-minute mark, which is outstanding. And I am available for any questions.
Are there any questions from the council?
I just want to know we're back under 4, barely, but under 4, just the same minutes, 4 minutes. So.
All right. Would any member of the public like to comment on 15.1? All right, I see none, so we're going to go to 15.2, receive and file the April 2026 Fire Station 25 run report. Chief Gates.
Mayor, City Council, for you, the run stats for Station 25. We did see a slight decrease from Engine 25 this year, or last month, which is typically normal for seasonal changes for them as we go through that. However, Medic 25 did see a slight increase in calls. We're closely monitoring those as we are excited as June 1st there'll be an additional ambulance in the system that resides right on the border of Placerville. Will probably absorb a significant amount of calls in Placerville itself. So look forward to those stats next month to report out. And that's the end of my report. Any questions?
All right. Any questions from the council?
I will say that Chief Cordero always included some nice pictures with his report. So next meeting, I'll expect you to step up your game just a little bit.
And I just didn't have it. I apologize.
All right. Would any member of the public like to comment on 15.2? All right, I see none. Item 16, upcoming items. You can read those at your leisure. So I am going to adjourn the meeting at 6:24 p.m.
Nice. This was a lot of inside baseball.